welcome to Jakarta.
Thank you so much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to His Excellency Dr. Peter Mbah. Please give applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me, as we say back home, to sit on the already established protocols. Thank you so much. Thank you for this invitation. A deep sense of appreciation is all I feel at the opportunity given me to be part of this event this morning, and a deeper sense of gratitude still that I'm being asked to deliver the keynote address of this epochal event. My excitement stems from several reasons. One is the fact that events like this will go a long way to reinforce and nourish the bilateral relationships between our both countries. The second is that it feels like a homecoming to me because it brings me back in contact with the world of international business and entrepreneurship from where I came before I decided to go into public service. But before I continue, let me be quick to acknowledge and recognize the organizers of this forum, the Nigerian Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, ably led by the president, Mr. Ishmael Balogun, and Director, Indonesia Trade Promotion Center, Lagos, Hendro Jonathan Manarund. It is thanks to your tireless efforts and industry that this forum has been as successful as it is today. And I'm confident that the sky will be your limit going forward. Nigeria and Indonesia share a lot in common. While Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa and the world's sixth most populous country, with a land mass coverage of over 923,000 square kilometers and a population of over 200 million. Your country, Indonesia, is the world's largest archipelagic state and the 14th largest country by area, with 1,904,000 square kilometers. With your over 278 million people, your country is the world's fourth most populous country. Again, while Nigeria is a federal republic, a multinational state that is inhabited by more than 250 ethnic groups who speaks 500 distinct languages and who identify with a wide variety of cultures, Indonesia is also a presidential republic with 38 provinces, of which 9 have special status. Our country, Nigeria and Indonesia, have come a long way on both political and economic spectra. Both nations have related in mutual beneficial circumstances that have uplifted the lives of our peoples. Our countries have also had economic relations that have remained positively consequential to both Nigeria and Indonesia. For instance, Nigeria has been Indonesia until recently. Nigeria has been Indonesia's largest trade partner in Africa. The economic relations between Nigeria and Indonesia are so robust that as at today, your country has over 200 companies that are currently operating in Nigeria. Some of these are Indo-food producers of popular Indomie noodles, Indorama, major shareholders of Eleme Petrochemical Refinery, Kalbe Pharma in a joint venture with Orange Drugs, Nigeria, Wings Group, producers of So Clean detergent, PT Tima Mining and Smelting Company, PT Wika Energy Procurement and Construction Company, among others. Consequently, it comes as no surprise to any discerning observer that the trade volumes between Nigeria and Indonesia are continuing to grow. And I'm glad to note this morning that you have achieved the mark of $4 billion, which was a target you set for yourselves this year. I think you deserve a round of applause. I also recognize the effort of all of you individual Nigerian and Indonesian businesses that are here today. Without you, there would be no chamber, and certainly this forum would not be happening. We appreciate you for making this event a priority today. In my view, the holding of an elaborate investment and trade forum like this involve businesses from both Indonesia and Nigeria is not only a good idea, but is also natural, given the broad similarity between our both countries. Beyond our similarities, it is also only fair to acknowledge and applaud Indonesia's performance in terms of economic growth since independence. The country's GDP has risen to an impressive 1.4 trillion, with the productive sector prominently driving the growth of the economy. Your industry now exports important industrial products like steel, machinery, textiles, footwear, among others, while you still remain a leading position in the areas of agriculture, as exemplified by your production of palm oil and its derivatives, rice, cassava, rubber, cocoa, coffee, among others. More impressive still is the fact that these great developments have been achieved despite challenges that might have been expected to limit the growth of any normal country. These have ranged from your diverse ethnic and religious group within the country to the unique geography of the country, given the largely marine and dense vegetation of Indonesia. It is thus of your credit that you have not only surmounted these challenges, but you have converted them to advantages and opportunities that have now formed stepping stones for your rise. With these levels of performance, despite all odds, Indonesia certainly has much that should be emulated. Certainly, my country will need to borrow a leaf from Indonesia in a number of areas, including the development of a thriving agricultural sector, the evolution of a strong industrial base to add value to local produce, and of course the development of a strong and diversified export culture that reduces reliance on crude oil proceeds. This collaboration and emulation for joint benefit is already taking place to some extent. To illustrate this, let me share with you two anecdotes that is, in my view, show you that there is already a strong commonality between Nigeria and Indonesia. First is the story of Indorama Ventures, an Indonesia group that many of you would have no doubt heard about. They first entered Nigeria to take over a moribund government-owned petrochemical facility in 2006. Today, the facility is not only the largest olefins plant in West Africa, it is virtually a monopoly supplier of polyethylene resin in Nigeria. In fact, the company has in 2016 expanded into the production of urea fertilizer and is only the second producer of urea in the country. As we speak today, Enugu State offers similar opportunities with a number of potential attractive government enterprises which require improved management from experienced managers to unlock their potential. The second anecdote is also close to home. It is about the Indonesia company Indofood, who entered the Nigerian market to promote their noodle brand Indomie in 1995. Today, not only is the brand a household name, the generic name for noodles in Nigeria is Indomie. This is the sort of market redefining opportunities I hold before you here today. Because of the similar culinary tastes of our countries, there is, in my view, scope for the introduction of other similar food and snack products, leveraging produce available in Nigeria to produce proven products from Indonesia within Enugu State. As you know, I am proudly Nigerian. I am also currently serving as the governor of Enugu State, one of Nigeria's 36 states. My state is located in the eastern part of Nigeria. You may also know that Enugu State is a state of great historic consequence in Nigeria. Our capital city, Enugu town, has been a major administrative center since the colonial times and served as the administrative capital of Nigeria's southern provinces in the 1920s. The town of Enugu had initially become pivotal to the colonial government due to its extensive deposit of extremely good quality coal. Coal production, which resulted from this discovery, helped to power economic growth both at home and abroad as an import into Britain. To facilitate the transportation of the large volume of coal produced, a rail line was constructed from Enugu to the ports, some 230 kilometers away. In addition, the coal also facilitated the development of a thermal power plant at Uji River, also within Enugu State. The early power generating plant was crucial in terms of energy supply in southern Nigeria before independence and even thereafter. Upon independence, Enugu has continued to be relevant, serving as a capital territory to the eastern Nigerian region, which comprised up to 9 states in modern-day Nigeria. In my view, it was not by accident that Enugu, and by extension Enugu State, was selected to play these central roles. The parties behind those decisions must have perceived the homely but industrious nature of Enugu people that makes the state a conducive base for productivity. A lot of time has since passed since those days, but we believe Enugu State is still uniquely positioned to act as a vantage location from which to address not only the Nigerian markets, but indeed also some of the markets in Central Africa, given its roads connections to Cameroon. To realize this potential, we appreciate that we would need to do a number of things differently than hitherto. It was this line of thought that led me to set for our state the objective of raising our GDP from the current level of $4.4 billion to a new level of $30 billion in the next 4 to 8 years. And by doing this, eradicate poverty across all areas of the state. Our understanding of what it will require to achieve this objective makes it obvious to us that these levels of growth cannot be achieved without extensive attraction of private sector investment and utilization of strong partnership, both within Nigeria and internationally. These partnerships may be either through relations with Nigerian private investor or in partnership with government through public-private partnerships. It is in view of this that we're here today, reaching out to the government and business community in Indonesia to let you know in the clearest way possible that Enugu is open for business. So of all the things that you're going to take away from this first day, one of the key things I'd like you to leave here with is that indeed Enugu is open for business. I enjoy you to stretch out your hands and take this opportunity to redefine your businesses for a better tomorrow, both for you, your Nigerian partners, and Enugu State as a whole. To depict our strong commitment to welcoming you to Enugu State, we're also enhancing the ease of doing business environment within Enugu to make the state even more conducive for investment and business, and which was why when we set out to govern, our mission was beyond making or providing a quality, people-focused governance. Our mission was to make Enugu State the preferred destination for investment, business, living, and tourism. And this is the reason why we are undertaking some of the following development initiatives to make Enugu a pleasant place to invest. Enugu State has established a functional one-stop center which centralizes and facilitates all of a prospective investor's interaction with the government and regulatory agencies regarding licenses, permits, etc. With this agency in place, no longer does a prospective investor have to oscillate from government office to government office attempting to resolve innumerable administrative challenges. Now all you need to do is report at one-stop shop, and an associate from that center will be detailed to interact with the relevant agency and address your needs. We have also just last week launched a massive urban and rural roads construction effort that will result in the construction of 10 major strategic roads and the repairs and modernization of up to 71 urban roads. This will result in improved ease of logistics for the business and industrial community to enable them seamlessly convey raw materials into the factories and evacuate finished products to their customers. In addition, we are facilitating agriculture by establishing a major land bank with about 300,000 hectares of land, which would be provided to serious businesses, both for corporate farmers and for the operation of special agro-processing zones, which will facilitate the location and operation of businesses. This will take in fresh produce for processing into finished or finished products. Enugu State is also establishing free zones across the state to shield productive businesses from local taxes and facilitate production for re-export across the West African and Central African markets. We have crossed a major hurdle in the journey to creating a free market for electric power in the state by recently signing into law an Enugu State electricity law, which will for the first time permit the state to license all electricity market operators within the state. To provide a conducive hosting for hyperscaler businesses like AWS, Microsoft, TikTok, eBay, and the rest of them, Enugu State is also in the process of developing a Tier 4 hyperscale data center. This would also boost the quality of internet services available to businesses located within the state and create an enabling environment for the emergence of an outsourcing industry in Enugu, as well as the development of an ICT startup entrepreneurship culture in the state. Finally, we're investing in other far-reaching reforms to boost the ease of doing business ranking of Enugu State, especially with specific reference to issues like ease of enforcement of contracts, ease of procurement of land titles. With our recent e-government initiatives, title of land now can be procured in Enugu within 72 hours. Ease of procurement for property development as well. Beyond the matter of ease of doing business, Enugu State also appreciates that high rates of investment in the state will require that the state is conducive for workers in the new and emerging businesses that will operate in the state, so they can live safely in the state with their families. Consequently, we're also boosting the capacity of our social services to make our city pleasant and livable by implementing initiatives like A, expanding the securities network to ensure high speed of response and high level of deterrence, which will assure all residents of the state of a tranquil environment to live and work. This has involved making extensive investment in the security agencies, including installing world-class surveillance and security command and control facilities. Improving schooling systems, which will have the quality to provide world-class education, both to indigenes of the state and families of foreign workers. We're also revamping our healthcare facilities at the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels to provide quality healthcare, not only for residents of the state, but also for the needs of neighboring states, many of whom currently travel outside Nigeria at the cost of over $1 billion annually for quality healthcare. Implementation of e-governance to boost the levels of efficiency of the state public service, especially in aspects of social services, such as environment, waste management, water provision, and among others. We have also adopted a number of strategies to support investors and reduce the risk typically inherent in international investments. Some of these initiatives include the following. Enugu State is prepared to provide access to land for investors in key strategic industries. And the state is also able to facilitate the speedy completion of all procedures related to the procurement of land titles and development approvals. We have earmarked a number of special industrial zones across the state, where industrial investors can benefit from world-class infrastructure such as roads, access to power, water, among others. In instances where it is warranted, the state is willing to co-invest with investors to assure them of sustainable alignment of interests with government in the businesses they have established. We're marking and developing several special economic zones which will offer businesses land for lease, access to power, water, waste, security, and so on. Businesses requiring location outside the special economic zone, government is prepared to undertake all host community interactions on behalf of the investor to enable them focus on their core businesses. The government is also committed to supporting Indonesians and other foreign businesses playing in the state by stepping in to diffuse any challenges the business may have as it works towards commencing operations, whether with community groups or with the activities of any government ministries, departments, and agencies. In general, the government of Enugu State is positioned to provide all investors the required policy as well as physical support they may require in operating their businesses. With all of these in place, I can say unequivocally that there is no better place to invest for any investor looking to enter the Nigerian market. We appreciate that the core objective of the investor is sustainable profit. So I will take some time to share with you a selection of the business opportunities that Enugu has to offer. In the area of agriculture, Enugu is blessed with 100% arable fertile land with a high factor of productivities and good access to surface and subterranean water that makes all year-round agriculture possible. The state population is heavily agrarian, and so there is no lack of employable labor required for the operation. The state is climatically disposed to the production of key produce like cassava, oil palm, cashew, spices of various types, including our unique variant of yellow pepper known as Ose Nsoka. These areas offer not only the opportunity for primary agricultural production, but also the opportunity to invest in industrial facilities to add value to this produce for local consumption as well as exports. The state is also blessed with significant deposits of minerals. In the area of petroleum, Enugu State has proven deposit of oil, but more importantly, has extensive deposit of natural gas, which can be developed either for the purpose of power generation or production of clean gas for industrial and automobile. Either of these applications would find huge waiting markets, not only within Enugu State, but even in neighboring Nigerian states. Other minerals within the state include coal, which has been globally acclaimed to be of the very clean quality, and which is the basis for the state's nickname. Enugu is also known as the Coal City State. Gold, some of the best quality of kaolin in the world, gypsum, clay of various variety, and limestones. These make Enugu ideal not only for mining, but also for siting of key industries like cement manufacture, tile manufacture, ceramics production, which requires these minerals as raw materials and fuels. Enugu is also a naturally endowed state blessed with scenic hills. Indeed, the word Enugu is known as the hilltop, a city sitting on the hill. Rivers, lakes, and other topographical features that lend themselves to development of ecotourism. As I alluded to initially, the state capital, being the political capital of Southeast, holds an emotional place in the minds of people from the region. This makes the state particularly attractive for development of real estate, as people from this region, irrespective of where they reside, all yearn for a home in Enugu town. In the area of information technology, the state is again uniquely gifted as it hosts the highest numbers of tertiary institutions of all the states in Nigeria. This has given the state a large population of young and technologically aware people, such that with minimal training, the state can evolve into an African Silicon Valley. In terms of location, Enugu State sits strategically between the north-central region and the southeastern and south-south regions, which have significant population of middle and high-income people, an attractive market for every investor. On account of this, Enugu State is a perfect location for the aggregation of agro-produce from the north and processing into secondary and tertiary products to feed the needs of the southern markets. In addition to this, as I mentioned earlier, the state is on the Nigerian-Cameroon highway, offering easy evacuation of products to the Central and African markets. Enugu is also taking steps to ensure that the positive strides we have made are sustainable by building strong institutions across the state. These include building the capacity of the government bureaucracies through automation and capacity building to make government processes more effective, as well as automation of key judicial processes and procedures, as well as creation of certain specialized courts to facilitate dispensation of justice and the settlement of civil disputes. I hereby invite you all, let's forge relationship and partnership that will make Nigeria and Indonesia even more prosperous. The time is ripe for this entry into Enugu State because the state is led by a governor who is business friendly. As you may recall, I mentioned at the beginning of this address that I came from the business sector. Consequently, I know on a personal level what investors go through. Yes, I feel your pain. While I was still a corporate CEO, I recollect how exasperating it could be at times when I had to spend 70% of my executive time dealing with issues stemming from external factors which government ought to deal with. And I have resolved that businesses will not have to endure such under my watch. I will take whatever steps are necessary to de-risk your businesses, at least to the extent of externalities, in the light of this. I can assure you that Enugu is on the cusp of an unparalleled growth over the next 4 to 8 years. That would be a huge boost for investors and businesses who enter the market at this time. The options for entry are numerous, and the possible mechanism for entry include either a direct investment similar to that executed by Indofood or a joint venture with Government of Enugu State through a special purpose vehicle, such as that which resulted when Indorama invested in the government-owned Eleme Petrochemicals plant all those years ago. Alternatively, Indonesian investors could also consider relationships with Nigerian businesses already in Enugu State, either through equity or technical partnerships, or even initially just through supply agreements. These Nigerian partners would give the Indonesian partner an immediate access to the market, as well as the benefit of their existing deep insights of the marketplace. This model has seen extensive success in the case of the partnership between Orange Drugs, a relatively new entrant in the Nigerian pharma industry, which is now a market leader, and Kalbe Pharma of Indonesia. In line with this, some other areas which, in my view, lend themselves to collaboration and technical partnerships with Indonesian businesses include collaboration with Indonesian businesses in the area of oil palm plantation management and processing, partnerships in the area of petroleum gas processing and general petrochemicals, value addition to cassava to produce its numerous upstream products, such as flours, starch, dextrins, and ethanol. To quicken and facilitate these relationships between the Indonesian business community and the domestic business community in Enugu, I would suggest the organization in the near future of an Indonesia-Enugu Investment Forum, where Indonesian businesses interested in entering Nigerian markets can interact with screened Nigerian businesses in Enugu State to provide a platform for the consummation of truly lasting and mutually rewarding partnerships. In closing, let me once again thank you all for joining us today and giving me your kind attention. I wish you an exciting experience during the rest of this forum. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Very enlightening.
Thank you.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but my mind is blown right now. I can't believe the level of access we've been given by the Honorable Governor himself right now. So much information I did not know about Enugu State, and so many concerns about investors have been addressed right there and then. Access to industry, safety, security, support from government on this level is unheard of. Every time I've had investors talk to me about Nigeria, they've always had the same concerns, and to have the governor himself right here in Indonesia